We're bringing this to you from a studio, but our reporters at India Today are on the ground on the line of control because that's where the real story is. After Sunday's terror strike in Uri at that army camp, the local population at this small township is living in fear. And now a fresh encounter which broke out last night has added to their anxiety. India Today brings you the fastest updates with the maximum number of reporters. We get out of the studio now and we take you straight closer before than you've ever been to the line of control. India's frontier with Pakistan. Padmaja Joshi, Shweta and Shuja report.
The army is locked in a fierce encounter at Uri, and India Today has reached the last point beyond which the gun battle and a massive combing operation is on.
The encounter at Lachipura is still ongoing right behind us. In fact, it is a few kilometers from here. Of course, the entry points have been completely barricaded and there is high security in the entire area. On Tuesday, there was continuous exchange of fire in this particular area, but since then, there has been a lull as far as the army is concerned. They say that the status quo remains. The operations are still on. There was a big group of terrorists who had been engaged, who had been intercepted by the army, and ever since, this operation is still continuing. An official number on the number of terrorists who were present and those who have been killed hasn't been confirmed by any of the forces who are involved in this particular operation. But this entire area is now completely off limits for the civilian population. A couple of villages, in fact, leading up to that very spot where the encounter has taken place, an extremely steep hill face, which is why there is still problem in accessing the bodies. Let's talk to a couple of locals about exactly what happened when the first contact was made with the terrorists.
While life has never been easy along the line of control, a sense of fear pervades the local population now.
The people who are living in the areas adjoining the place at the LOC where the encounter is taking place have interesting stories to tell about what exactly happened. आप बताइए, आप यहाँ पर लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल के बहुत पास रहते हैं, आखिर हुआ क्या?
कल 1 बजे से शुरू हो रहा है। आवाज़ सुनने में हम सुनते रहे आवाज़, हम डर गए बहुत। कुछ समझ में नहीं आया ये आवाज़ कैसा हुआ है, तोप का आवाज़ है या बंदूक का आवाज़ है, लेकिन बंदूक का आवाज़ नहीं था, वो तोप का आवाज़ था। बहुत खतरनाक था आवाज़।
आप इस इलाके के बारे में बताइए, किस तरह का इलाका है? पहाड़ी इलाका है, जंगल है, वहाँ पर किस तरह का इलाका है? कोई इतने वक्त से ऑपरेशन चल रहा है?
जंगल है वहाँ पर, वहाँ से कल से मतलब जंगल है वहाँ पर, बस जंगल है। हमने देखा बस्ती लोकल बस्ती नहीं है वहाँ पर।
But amidst all the gunfire, search operations and restriction, hope floats for the local population, which sees the Indian Army as a force protecting it.
हमारे लिए तो फॉरेस्ट है साहब इधर, ये हम तो पड़ोसी है, हमको क्या डर है? कोई भड़काएगा तो हम वहाँ रिपोर्ट देंगे जाकर। फॉरेस्ट किस लिए है? वो तो हमारे रखवाली के लिए है।
Families in Uri are mostly keeping to their homes till army gives an all clear. Till then, the locals are keeping extra vigil. With Padmaja Joshi at the line of control in Uri, Bureau Report, India Today.
And joining us live from India's frontiers, we've got Padmaja Joshi, who's been reporting from the line of control in Uri. We've got Shuja Haq, who's just returned from Handwara in North Kashmir, and Mausami Singh, who's just accessed information and had an interview with the Border Security Force in Rajasthan, the Rajasthan-Pakistan border. So 3 frontiers we've got covered by our reporters. But Padmaja, I want to come to you straight first because, you've been in the heart of the action. There's been an encounter that's been taking place, barely a few kilometers away from where you're standing right now. That's the line of control not very far behind you as well. Can you tell us what the latest is? Because here in Delhi, I can tell you, Padmaja, the sense is that tensions are brewing just a few kilometers from where you're standing.
That's right, in fact, which is the reason why the army does not want to make any premature statement right now. Shiv, they're saying, they're not even calling it an encounter. They are saying that 2 operations are currently underway. One, of course, is where we've lost a man, and the second one is at Lachipura. As far as Lachipura is concerned, they are not even willing to put a figure on it till the time they actually have visual confirmation and they get a fix on the number of men who had come in. What they've said so far is that about 10 to 12 men had come. They were they were intercepted by the army. Subsequently, an operation has started. Now, eventually, when these bodies are recovered, that is when anything further will be said. Right now, it is status quo. Both the operations currently underway. Why they don't want to jump the gun is because this is an area where, you know, the two armies, the Pakistan and Indian army, are practically eyeball to eyeball. So if the Pakistan army manages to take away any of the terrorist bodies, they do not want to get the number wrong. Shiv.
Also, Shuja, you know, Handwara is another place where, you know, reportedly, there has been some kind of violence, some kind of tension. Handwara is a place that you and I have reported from. You know, it is a well-known highway as far as infiltration is concerned. What can you tell us about what's happening there?
Well, Shiv, okay, in Handwara, there is an operation that has been carried out since yesterday.
Okay, we're going to try and fix Shuja's audio. It's a little unclear. Shuja, I'll come back to you in just a moment. I want to quickly bring in Mausami in the meanwhile, while we fix Shuja's audio, because he is in Srinagar. There's not very much internet connectivity there. Mausami, alarming report that you've been able to access on the Rajasthan-Pakistan border as well of some suspicious movements taking place last night. You know, just a couple of days after the Uri attack, some suspicious movements. Even though it's a friendly border, there is a report and there is a heightened sense of alert there.
That's right, Shiv. This is actually a cause of concern. Around 30 to 40 troop movements, Pakistani troop movements have been spotted, and the authorities say that they might be actually infiltrators or the park rangers. It is difficult to say. So they are keeping a strict vigil, and actually all eyes are on the border. Any small suspicious movement is being spotted and an alert sent. So this comes in the backdrop of the Uri attack, and the Home Ministry had already alerted all the paramilitary forces. The Defence Ministry had already alerted the army, so they were in a state of high alert. And then after this movement has been spotted, the IG did say that he is taking no chances. A strict vigil is being maintained on the border, a border which is actually supposed to be a friendly border. There is an understanding between India and Pakistan as far as the Rajasthan border connecting to Pakistan is concerned. Despite that, the way the movement has been spotted is a cause of grave concern for the Indian government.
Grave concern for the Indian government. Three reporters bringing you three aspects of what's happening on India's frontier with Pakistan at this point of time. All of them reporting suspicious movements, operations that are currently on right now, and the possibility of heightened tensions between India and Pakistan. This is a ground report that gets you what's happening on the ground. Well, as the Indian army battles waves of infiltrators from across the border, one of the biggest stumbling blocks is the thick vegetation growing along the line of control. Some of the terrorists involved in the latest operations that Padmaja was talking about have taken cover in vast expanses of maize fields growing right there in the border, making combing operations a deadly gamble. Ashraf and Padmaja gave us this report.
Autumn season is considered as most favorable season for infiltrators for infiltration. This is the season when maize crops are standing in the villages near line of control, providing cover and hiding space for infiltrators to reach from one place to another place. This is being believed that probably the cover of these maize fields may have helped the infiltrators who attacked Uri army camp. And even in this sector of line of control, more and more militants are pushed from Pakistan to infiltrate into Jammu and Kashmir just to take advantage of this topography as well as of this season. With cameraman Rohith Ahmed, Ashraf Wani for India Today, on line of control in Uri.
Well, India's National Investigation Agency and its probe into the Uri terror strike that killed 18 Indian Army Jawans is homing in onto the possible role of an insider in India who may have betrayed the Indian Army camp. The attackers had precise details of the Army camp's topography, the contours, and the timing as well. According to our sources, the terrorists even knew the locations of the office and residence of the brigade commander.
As the investigators are picking up evidence from Uri, where this attack took place on Sunday, there are some important questions that crop up. Some of the investigators have observed that there is a possibility that some insiders would have been passing information to the attackers. So that's how these attackers could come to the exact spots which were the most vulnerable in the garrison. The attackers also knew what was the right time and date when this changeover was taking place. All these points are leading the investigators to probe whether there was someone from inside who was passing on information.
I want to bring in Shuja. He's live with us from Srinagar. Shuja, an inside job. This is perhaps the most disturbing aspect so far of the investigation. It wasn't just a Pakistani attack by terrorists, but there could have been a traitor within the Indian army or within the system who actually leaked information helping the attackers in Uri.
Well, that's right, Shiv. Shiv, remember when Pathankot attack took place, the NIA had, carried out its investigation on the same lines. In this case, in Uri's case, this becomes all the more important because what I have gathered, from the NIA and other sources of these investigators collected samples from the spot. They took samples of even the material that to set those barracks on fire. So what is letting these investigators to question is the fact that how come these attackers knew exactly where those explosive materials were, which could be set on fire, and because of which the first explosion took place. They also knew where the soldiers of the new battalion were exactly housed in. There are inputs that these investigators are getting about the fact that these soldiers were locked up inside their barracks and then
Exactly.
set on fire. So all questions are very, very startling, and that's what one aspect of the investigation would be.
Thanks very much for those details, Shuja. We'll keep a track of that. This story is far from over. That investigation is also far from over. Disturbing aspect, the possibility of an insider. Well, far away, thousands of miles away from Uri in New York City. Even as Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif tries to garner sympathy for his terror agenda in New York City, India today has blown the lid off a brand new terror camp. This is journalism. We've discovered a brand new Pakistani terror camp just 900 meters from the Indian border in Punjab. We sent India Today's Manjeet Sehgal there, armed with an intelligence report about a mosque, a mysterious mosque that's been visited by the Jaish-e-Mohammed leader Maulana Masood Azhar, from where radicalization is taking place. As I bring this story to you, watch this shocking report. Location, the Symbol border outpost in Punjab, just 100 yards from the Pakistan border. India Today has accessed a brand new intelligence report that says just 1 kilometer from this location is a brand new terror launch pad in Pakistan.
We are in Bamial sector of Pathankot, and on my left side is the Symbol border outpost. We can clearly see the Pakistan flag which is fluttering on my left side, and at a distance of 1 kilometer there is a place called Bada Bhai Mansoor. This place is known for its mosque, which is known for anti-India activities which are being carried out by the Pakistan-based terrorist organization Jaish-e-Mohammed. Indian security agencies are well aware about. Now the BSF has heightened the security at this point, which is known as a launching pad for Pakistan-based terrorist groups.
The terror camp is just a few kilometers from Pathankot itself, the site of the January terror attack from Pakistan.
Let's really break this down. This latest terror camp is a huge threat to India's security, and here's why. We've drawn out a map that really puts this into perspective for our viewers. You're seeing here India, Pakistan, and that's the border. This is Punjab. Now, our correspondent Manjeet Sehgal travelled down to Symbol district in Punjab. This is on the border, on the outskirts between India and Pakistan. Barely 1,000 meters from him, 900 meters is what in fact he's told us, is this village called Masroor. And in this village, we understand that there is a mosque that we've now narrowed down here, which has become a terror camp. It's a launch pad of sort where locals come together and they're radicalized. And can you imagine, just 1 kilometer away from the border, how how easy it will be for these radicalized youngsters to then make their way into India. This is also just about 50 kilometers away from the Pathankot air base, which is where we witnessed already a horrific terror attack. So this is something that India definitely needs to address immediately, because huge terror masterminds, the like of Masood Azhar, even come to this very village.
Jaish-e-Mohammed's chief, Maulana Masood Azhar, is reportedly a frequent visitor to this mosque. And this is only one of the many new camps that have sprung up to radicalize youth, push them into India with their deadly message. As Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif tries to rally the world in New York City, the world's attention is rather on Pakistan's brand new launch pads, including this one, revealed first here on India Today. With Manjeet Sehgal in Simbal village, Punjab, Bureau Report, India Today.